Hello children, welcome once again to another class of maths. Today we are going to continue with our coordinate geometry part. Today what we are going to start with is how to solve any two equations, linear equations in two variable graphically. There is another method that is known as elimination method, cross multiplication method, substitution method. For that you have to interchange the values of x or substitute it from one equation to another equation, but over here we have got something different. How can we get to know that what will be the value of x or what will be the value of y without implementing any of the methods of cross multiplication, substitution or elimination? Is the method by using the graph or solving the equations graphically. So what we do is that take the very first equation given and transform it into the form of either x equals to or y equals to. In the first equation, we have transformed the equation as x equals to, or have changed into the variable of x equals to. We could have also done into form of y equal to, that totally depends upon you. So changing the term and sending 3y to the other side, it will be subtracted from 12. To make the coefficient 1, we have to remove 2, 2 is getting multiplied on sending to the other side, go in the denominator. So this is what we are having. Now we are going to use the hit and trial method. Hit and trial method, that means that we are going to take the respective value of y and will try to obtain the value of x that should not be in a fraction form, because we can get, but there will be a bit of it will be a bit of tedious job to plot the point in a given fractional form. So that is why we are going to try to take it in a natural form or a whole number form. So we will take the value of y. Let's take it to be a 0. So we can take it to be a 0. So 3 into 0, 0. 12 minus 0, 12. 12 upon 2, we can give, we can come up as 6 also. But again, try to take up the values which can accommodate inside your graph. So try to limit yourself between minus 5 and plus 5, and so between minus 5 and plus 5 on x as well as y axis. So we have taken to be as over here 2, and we get the value of x to be as 3, and we have taken again next value. You can take at least 3 points or minimum 2 points are necessary to plot any particular straight line. Take the value of y to be as 4, 3 into 4, 12, 12 minus 12, 0, 0.2 will be 0. So we are getting these coordinates and we'll write down them. We have to give a variable name. Come to the next equation. Again over here we have, now in this case we have transformed it into y equal to form. So taking the value of x to be as 3 or 4 or 1 or 0, we can get the corresponding values of y. So let's take the value of x to be as 1. So 1 minus 1, 0. So y will become 0. Let's take the value of x to be as 4. 4 minus 1, 3. So we get the coordinates to be as 1, 0, 4, 3, and so C and D we have labeled the coordinates. Now the next step is to plot these points on the graph sheet. Always remember these equations when we have been asked to solve them graphically, this can only be done on a graph sheet. Clear? It's not that the common points that we are going to write down will be the thing. No, you have to draw it and you have to plot these points on the graph. Okay, let's see how to plot these points on the graph. Now what we are going to do is that first of all plot the point A, that was 3, 2, 3 from x axis, y 2, so this becomes the first point. The next point was 0, 4, so 0, 4 will be on y axis. Next point was C, 1, 0, so it will be 1, 0, and next point D. Now C and D were for the second equation, so draw a straight line connecting them. Alright, don't try to relate it with A and B. A and B, if you remember, A and B were the coordinates for the first equation. So we'll connect them and let a line pass through completely through these 2 points. Alright, and let them cross over. And now what will be the solution? The solution will be the point or intersecting point where the two lines are intersecting. That will be the answer. So that means now what will be the value of x? The value of x is going to be 3, 2. The value of x will be 3 and the value of y will be 2. X part the value of x, y part the value of y. So that means whenever the lines are meeting at the point, that will become the solutions of x and y. Maybe you get this point, this point and this point, and for the y you are getting this point and this point. Alright, now again join them and let this equation line also pass, cut each other. The intersection is very important. They need to intersect each other, then only we will be getting a intersecting point. All right, so this will become the solution. So in this way we can solve, or we can plot for one line also, or when two lines are given. So we have been asked to calculate the values of x and y. So this can only be done using the graph, and if you are going to use any other method, if the question says so that you have to draw it graphically or solve graphically, so this will be the method that you have to implement. All right, let's move on. All right children, now the next thing that we are going to start is the distance formula. Now if you remember the very basic thing that when we were starting with this very chapter, I told you about the coordinate, that how we can calculate the distance from the city of Lucknow to the city of Kanpur is using the coordinate system by the formula of distance formula. So this is where the main implementation of the coordinate geometry comes in. That is, to calculate the distance we need to have the coordinates of those two places. So x1 and y1 will denote for the point A, and x2 and y2 are denoting for point B. Now to calculate the distance between these 2 points, we have a formula that is under root of x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. Difference in x square plus difference in y square. So let's take up a question. The question says that find out the distance between the point E, that is minus 6 comma minus 4, and F 9 comma minus 12. Mark any one of them to be as x1 y1 and the other one to be as x2 y2. In the starting you should write down the formula. Once you get used to, then it's fine to denote, but at least it will give you a better idea that what we should write down. 9 minus of minus 6, and same goes for the y part. Some of you may do the difference between them and the difference between them. No, whatever the order you are taking, if you are taking x2 minus x1, so it should be y2 minus y1. It should not be y1 minus y2. This you need to keep in mind. So as applying 9 minus of minus 6 whole square plus minus 12 of minus 4 whole square. So this is what we are going to obtain. Square of this will give 289, and under root 289 is going to give us 17. We know that under root value is going to be plus minus, but the distance can never be negative. We are talking about the distance, so that means it will always be positive. And what unit? Coordinate is never going to have any unit, always remember. Clear? So that means we'll just write down units over here to show that what will be the distance between these two coordinates. All right, before you move ahead, pause it, have a look again at the working in the steps. How is the formula been implemented? Why have I written minus and minus? Because differences like 9 minus of minus 6, so that is why it has been written in this very form. Let's take up another question. Now the question says find out a point on y-axis. Always remember, whenever it says a point on y-axis, so it will be taken up as 0 comma b, 0 comma a, 0 comma c, any variable with 0 as its x part. Why so? Because we know that whenever any point is present on the x-axis, let me bring the graph again for you, and if wherever any point is present on the x-axis, its y part will be 0. 1 comma 0, this point will be 2 comma 0, 3 comma 0. Similarly, if any point is on the y-axis, its y part, x part will be 0. Y part is going to have value 0 comma 4, 0 comma 3, 0 comma 2. Now it says that any a point is on the y-axis. Now we do not know whether it is on the positive part or it's a negative part. Just take the value to be a 0 comma a, 0 comma b, 0 comma y. Automatically you are going to get, if it is going to be present on the negative, automatically this value is going to be negative. You are going to come across with a negative value, and if it is going to be positive, so we will be coming across with a positive value. So that is why this point has been taken up as 0 comma b. Similarly, had it been x-axis, so we could have taken it to be x comma 0, a comma 0, b comma 0, d comma 0. We could have taken up any point, all right, any variable. So it says that find a point on y-axis which is equidistant from the points A and B. A point equidistant from this and this. So that means, what do you mean by equidistant? Equidistance having equal distance for A and B from the point C. So that means this part and this part being same. What do you mean by this part? This part means the distance. Again over here also, this also means the distance. So that means as per the question, AC is equal to BC. So under root applying the formula for AC coordinate. So AC will be equal to 0 x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. That is 0 minus of minus 3 whole square plus b minus 2 whole square. And same goes for BC. 0 minus 5 whole square plus b minus of minus 2 whole square. This is what has been written over here. Now using and solving the bracket, this is what we are going to obtain for the. Alright, now over here we have already studied the algebra in the previous classes also. So this is what we are going to implement for a minus b whole square form. We are having a whole square, so do not write it down to be as b square minus 4 of b square plus 4. That means do not just write down a square and b square, you need to have the term of 2ab also that is going to exist. So that is what has been written. Now squaring both the sides to remove the under root, then only we can make a shift or transpose the term to solve them. So that comes out to be b square minus 4b plus 13 and b square plus 4b plus 29. So b square and b square get cancelled out. Somewhere you may come up with a quadratic equation. So over there you will have to factorize just like we used to solve or factorize any quadratic equation. And if you are getting two coordinates, yes, both will be applicable. Alright. So this is what we are going to come up with, and hence b will come up to be as this. Now the question says find a point. So if you are going to write down b equal to minus 2, you are going to lose marks. The point will be 0 comma minus 2. At the end you need to write down your coordinate. That is very important. Alright children. Okay, you can pause, you can have a look again, and then before you move ahead. Now, how is this going to be implemented, or how can this be utilized for the other questions also? Let's take a question in which it says that show that the vertices of a triangle 0, A, B are the vertices of an equilateral triangle. Now, we know that this figure is going to be a triangle. Now, we do not know whether 0 will be over here, A will be over here, or B will be over here. Doesn't matter, you can take up in any form. The thing that is going to matter will be your working and what are you coming up after calculating the distance part. Over here you will have to be very well versed with your properties. For the equilateral triangle, we know that all the three sides are going to be equal. So what we are going to do is that we are going to calculate the measurement of each of the sides of OA, AB and OB using the distance formula. And if all three of them comes out to be same, yes, over here we are coming up with under root 12, under root 12 and under root 12. So all three are same, so that means hence yes, it is an equilateral triangle. Alright, suppose if it is a square to be asked. So calculate this distance, this. If all the four sides are equal, hence it is a square. No, it could be a rhombus also, isn't it? If all the four sides are equal, it could be a rhombus also. So to show that yes, it is a square only and not a rhombus, the main difference is about the diagonal. In a square, the diagonals are also same. So that means you will have to calculate the length of AC as well as BD, and then after showing all the four sides, you will have to show that AC is equal to BD. Hence, it is a square. For the rhombus, you can directly write down after showing all the four sides are equal. Since it is all the four sides are equal, it is a rhombus. Same goes for a parallelogram and a rectangle. In a rectangle, what you will be required to do, that show that opposite sides are equal, the measurement, alright, and the diagonals are also same. You will have to show that the diagonals are also same. But in a parallelogram, you can just simply show that the opposite sides are equal, hence it is a parallelogram. So these properties are very important over here to show that whether it is a equilateral triangle, rectangle, square and all this thing. What if you are being asked to calculate and show that it is a right angle triangle? Now we do not know for the three given point which point will be at the right angle. Doesn't matter, you can take up in any form, but calculate this measurement and this measurement. Now you will have to try out, try it out using the Pythagoras theorem. That is, if this square plus this square is equal to the hypotenuse square, hence that very combination will be taken up to be as a right angle triangle. What if it says isosceles right angle triangle? So for the isosceles, we know that hypotenuse is going to be the longest side, so that means the remaining two sides are equal and the sum of the squares is again equal to the hypotenuse. So again, both these conditions have to be shown. So again, that depends upon the question to question. Alright, so just go through all these questions and practice the exercise questions in the exercise given in your book. So that brings up to the end of the chapter as well as the end of the syllabus for your unit test. Okay children, bye bye, take care, stay home, stay safe.